Hello again, friends. It's Jackie here, and I've got another quick and easy card using products from the April release over at Maker Forte. Today I'm going to be using this Floating on Dreams stamp set. I'm going to be stamping 3 of these butterflies onto Hammermill copy paper. I prefer to use Hammermill when I'm going to be using Copics because it gives a really good blend. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp out 3 of these butterflies because I'm not sure right now which ones I'm going to be coloring up. So I went ahead and stamped them with the Eclipse Black Remarkable ink. This ink is Copic friendly, and I know I'm using Copics later on. I just had to give it looks like my ink pad might be drying out a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a couple of good inkings and smushings because I'm just not getting a good impression. But after the second one, it was fine. So the markers that I'm going to be using are B00, B02, B04, and B06. I didn't end up using the other color because I don't think they needed it. And the way that I like to color is I start with my lightest color and I go over the entire image. And then I go with my darkest color, kind of flicking in. And then I will go with my second darkest. And then I go back with my lighter colors. And then I go back over it with the B00. I didn't end up using the B000 because I didn't think it needed it. This pen right here, turns out I've got 2 of the same on my desk. And then for the flowers, I'm going to be using a pink, and I'm going to go with RV21, RV13, and RV14. And again, I just like to start off with my lightest color, then going back over with my darkest, then back to my medium color, and then back in with my lightest color just to blend it out. And for this lily, I'm going to be going in and coloring with my yellows. I'm going to use Y13, Y15, Y17. I'm going to be blending again, just the same as I've done on the other ones, just lightest, darkest, medium, then back with the light color. I think this is probably my favorite combination of yellows. It really does have a big impact, and I really like them. For this rose, I'm going to be going ahead and use the violets. I'm going to be using V12, V15, and V17, coloring the same as I have on the other 2 flowers. So right now my garden is starting to really bloom now that it's spring, and I've got a lot of milkweed in my yard. So I'm going to hopefully have a lot of monarchs. So I'm excited to have some butterflies in my garden. So here, anyways, for the background, I'm going to go ahead and use also this new Hexagon Bursts stencil that is available in this month's kit, or this month's release. Now here I'm just using the Neon Lights ink, and I'm just doing with a very light hand, going over and just giving the cardstock a little bit of color. I don't want very much, just enough that you can see it. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my stencil over that inked up area, and with a heavier hand I'm just going to go ahead and brush over so you can see that stencil outline come through. It does not take much. I've gone ahead and chose the Dream Sentiment from the Floating on Dreams set. I'm going to go ahead and line it up with my image here on my Misty. I want to make sure that it's centered underneath it. I'm going to go ahead and prepare my card base with an anti-static tool since I'm going to be using embossing powder. So I just went ahead and opened up the bottom of this powder, and I'm using the rainbow powder brush from Maker Forte to go ahead and make sure that I get a good layer of that powder so I don't have any static or that my ink is dry, because if that blue ink is not, it will leave some of that embossing powder there. So I've inked this up with the clear embossing powder from clear embossing ink from Maker Forte, and I'm going to be using the Eclipse Black embossing powder, and I just went ahead and poured that over that image. Look how nice that looks. Now I've preheated my heat tool, so it doesn't take long for me to heat set this image, and when it's shiny, you know it's done. I wanted to give it a little bit of dimension to this butterfly, so Just added some dimensional tape, some foam tape to the back. I've got a bunch of this that I bought off Amazon, really cheap. You see I'm starting to run a little bit low, but that's still probably another few months left on that. And I went ahead and just added that onto my image, and this card is really done. After the fact, I decided it needed a little bit, so I added a couple of clear gems to it, and this card is done. Thank you, friends, for stopping by. Until next time, bye.